Hi guys, welcome to But You Don't Look Sick. Today I'm going to be talking about thyroid eye disease. Now, if you have Graves' disease, you might have heard of it, or you might be newly diagnosed with it, or you might not have it and you're a bit scared that your eyes are going to do this and pop out. So I'm going to explain to you how I've treated my thyroid eye disease and what you can do to help yours too. Now, I'm covering my arm with my weave because look, I burnt myself this morning. Who does that? I seriously burnt it. Anyways, so let's talk about the thyroid. The thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland which sits right here, and what that does is control everything in your body, from your metabolism. So if you lose weight fast, if you don't lose weight fast, it controls how fast you speak, how fast you think, your skin renewal, how fast your heart beats. Now, your body seems to be attacking that thyroid and it builds thyroxine, which controls everything in your body. But sometimes when it attacks it, it can build too much thyroxine, which means everything goes haywire, everything goes fast, and you feel like this. So, sometimes your body thinks, you know what, I've had enough, or I'm a bit fed up of just attacking the thyroid. I'm gonna go attack something else. And what it does is that it spills to the back of your eye. Not sure how that happens, but it does. So when it spills to the back of your eye, it starts to attack the back of your eye. And what that does is build up fat. So when that fat is being built up, it's pushing your eyeball more forward. Now, I know it sounds really graphic, a graphic description, but I'm explaining it in the best way that I can. And how it sounds is how it feels in its first stage. They call it the first active stage. It's terribly painful, feels like someone's doing that constantly, and it's just not a great feeling. So that's what happens. Now, some people's eyes, I think I showed you this before, can go like that. So you just have this stare where you're like, oh my God. Some people's eye would have moderate swelling, which they call edema swelling, is it? So you can have swelling up there. And then some people's eye might just look like a squint. So it might be one eye is bigger than the other. So those are the three things that usually happen. Now, with thyroid eye disease, it tends to last for a good 2 years. So you go through your active stage before it sort of burns out. Now, there's ways that you can treat this, ways that you can make it a lot better, and so that the pain is not as bad during that active stage. And I'm about to tell you how. Number one. Now, the best thing to do is have the best diet ever. I always say this, our bodies are haywire. We don't need any toxins in our body. We need to have our body functioning to the best of its ability. So the best thing that you can do is have your veg juices in the morning, try cut out processed food, increase your nutrients of fruits and veg. Of course, you know, if you love sweet stuff, have an apple, or try to have a bit of dried mango, but just don't go to the extent where you're eating refined sugars. It's not gonna help. Your body's gonna feel more crap. It could actually increase the swelling in your eyes. So salt and sodium, lower it down because your eye will have a lot of swelling around it. And that leads me to the second one, is following an anti-inflammatory diet. What I've noticed with my own eye disease is that I get severe swelling. And if you have Graves' eye disease, better yet known as thyroid eye disease, you will know that the swelling is a lot worse in the morning. So make sure you're eating a diet rich in anti-inflammatory properties. This could be blueberries, tomatoes, olive oil, strawberries, cherries, oranges, the list goes on. There's so much food that you can have that will enable you to have a really, really healthy eye. Number three, manage those stress levels. Seriously, stress, I feel, is the #1 killer. So if you look at autoimmune conditions, when you speak to people that had it, they always said, there was a death in the family, I was really stressed, I was working loads, my children, like there was always some kind of stress. I'm not saying children are stressed, but there was always some type of issue that maybe caused the body to become imbalanced and create this autoimmune condition or bring it forward. Manage your stress levels. It's really important, not just for your Graves' eye disease, but for your whole body. Number four, quit smoking. There's a lot of research going on to suggest that cigarettes could actually make your eye disease worse, and they said people who have the really, really strong eye disease and they require orbital decompression, which I'll talk about later, are the people that smoke or are around smokers. So I know outside in the UK they ban people smoking like in public places. People still do it, but if you can, or if you're around someone that smokes, avoid it, go away from them, because seriously it does trigger it. It does make your pain worse and you want to be away from that. So stay away from smokers. Number five, Get some exercise. I know I always bang on about this, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not the most avid exerciser, but seriously, getting those serotonin levels to go up, making your body feel better, actually will help the whole of your body and your eyes. I did notice at the time that I was doing more of yoga and Pilates and just de-stressing a lot, I had less eye pain. My eye pain tended to get worse when I was overstressed, when I wasn't exercising, when I was eating crap. So exercise is a really good thing that you can do for your body. It fights off infections as well, builds up your serotonin levels, builds up those endorphins. So your body is going to congratulate you by not attacking itself so much and making you feel a lot better, and hopefully not making your eyes do this. Now, I've said this a lot, that when you have Graves' disease, you tend to have low vitamins. So you have low vitamin deficiency. That could be low B12 or low vitamin D. But a lot of people that have Graves' eye disease or have Graves' disease tend to be lacking in selenium. And I did this research. It probably took me like a week to do. I collated a lot of Graves' disease patients who were on open forums just talking about, you know, the ones that had Graves' eye disease and the ones that didn't, and a lot of the ones that had Graves' eye disease tended to be really low in selenium. So what selenium is a powerful antioxidant, and it has loads of vitamin E in it. Selenium helps fight off damaging particles that are also known as free radicals. Free radicals are known to damage cell membranes and DNA, and I know that sounds really scary, but seriously, just adding selenium in your diet really helps fight off and ward off infections, and especially your Graves' eye disease. So what I tend to do, I buy this powder that is a mix of flaxseed, walnuts, selenium, and a few other things, and I make a veg juice in the morning and I pour the powder in and I just drink it. So that's something that I'm having every day, and it means I'm getting my selenium in. Or if you want your daily allowance of selenium, all you've got to eat is 1 Brazil nut. That's it. 1 Brazil nut, and that gives you all the selenium that you need. Please don't overdose on it. Remember, 1 Brazil nut will be enough. So now we've talked about how I've treated my Graves' eye disease naturally. Let's talk about the other route. So if you've got really, really bad Graves' eye disease and you're thinking, Whitney, I am past that point of trying a natural eye disease. My eye is literally like that. I don't want to walk around with it anymore. There is one thing that you can do, and that is called orbital decompression. So what the doctor will do is perform a surgical procedure, usually under general anesthetic. They are all different. Some of them, they'll cut the sides of your eye if it's not too bad, just there, cut a little bit there, and then they can sort of do a surgery where they just plop it back in. Or they might do it through your nose, but then that can cause other issues, as my eye doctor told me. Or if it's not too bad, they can just drain the fluid hair and get rid of the swelling. So there's different ways that they can do it. Now you're gonna ask me, do I agree with it or not? I think it is a cosmetic procedure, but if your eyes are really, really bad and it's making you feel unconfident and you feel, you know what, my eyes, I just want it to be the way that it was before, then I would say definitely go ahead and do it. The first one is if you do it during the active phase, the doctor could overdo your eye. So what that means is during the active phase, your eye is pushing out, all that kind of crap, but then it can sporadically go back. It might not be back to normal, but it can get better. So if the doctor takes out too much fat around your eye socket and then your active phase is done and then your eye decides to go back to normal, it could be overdone. Your eyes could look sunken in. That sounds nasty, but it seriously could be overdone. So you really need to be careful, and you need to make sure that it's done in a time after your active phase. The second thing is scars. You could get scars on the sides of your eye. So that's another thing to look out for. Number 3, of course, the worst thing that could ever happen is that something happens to your eyesight. Not trying to scare you, but just trying to let you know this is a surgical procedure. So I wouldn't advise to do it unless you really, really want to do it. And obviously there could be eye changes. Like I have quite eyes that go up like that, and you know, they could end up making my eye like that, or they could change the shape of it, and I'm like, that is not how my eye looked. So just remember that their main priority is to get your eyeball back into its socket, and it might not look exactly how you wanted it to look. If you've had thyroid eye disease and you've had surgery on it, let me know how you felt. And also another thing that the doctor told me is that it might not get rid of all the pain. So it might make it look better, but you could still be suffering from that pain. So as I said, if you want to go off and do the Graves' eye disease surgery, go ahead and do it, but just be aware that, you know, there's certain natural protocols that I would advise you to follow, even if you've had it, so that you're no longer receiving that eye pain. Your eye's not going to sporadically get worse or, you know, look sunken in, and also you're going to feel a lot better in your mind, body and soul, like they say in Pilates. So thank you very much. I hope this has helped you. Let me know. I think the key thing is that selenium, get that intake in the morning, 1 Brazil nut, or just have a powder of it where you just have it every day, and let me know if that helps it. Oh, and the last thing before I go, make sure you check your eye measurements. Make sure you're going to your doctors quite constantly, maybe every 3 months. Get them to check your eyes. Your eyes could feel dry because it's further out. So obviously particles in the air and the wind blowing, it's just making it feel quite irritated. So the best thing that you can do is have an ointment, like an ointment or eye drops that you put on in the night or in the morning, and then the ointment feels good, put the ointment on, put something over your eyes and just leave that overnight, and you will realize that the pain in the eye is kind of gone. Sometimes we think it's eye pain from the back of our eye, but sometimes your eye is just really dry. And drink loads of water. We need to be thoroughly hydrated. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have Graves' eye disease. Have you done anything to help stop it? Thank you for watching, but you don't look sick.